Hey everybody, I'm here with Star and Crystal, and we are here to talk about
promoted listings.
Promoted listings. So let's give everybody
a second of the year.
Seriously, this has not been a popular thing that's happened. So let's give everybody a few minutes to get in here. But you know, I got to say, eBay always seems to. I was really impressed this year. I thought we were going to get through fourth quarter without any big doings. And yet, here we are.
Usually it's a big tech thing, like a big glitch or something with the technology. This time it's something in a totally different realm. And it has people up in arms.
And I don't blame them.
Mad all over social media.
And I don't blame them. I mean, do you agree? I mean, you don't blame them? I'm assuming none of you guys do.
No, of course not. I'm surprised at the people that are speaking out about it. Honestly, there are a lot of really visible public eBay supporters that are influencers that are out there really talking unfavorably about it. And so that just shows how strongly people feel about this change. There's a few that are noticeably silent, but yeah,
I have been noticeably silent, and today I break that silence.
All right, so let's get into it. So the promoting listings eBay update, 30-day new Halo model, and it starts January 13th, for it to be exact, January 13th, 2026. So, you know, let's just talk about for a second, like, how do you guys use it now?
I use it all the time on every single listing, but I start and stop it once a week. I'm probably absolutely incorrect in this, but I have this thought in my head, just like with your sales, when you have an indefinite end, you don't get a push. And when Cassini, the algorithm, sees your sale ends tonight or your promoted's in tomorrow, I feel like when there's an end in sight, you might get a little bit of a push rather than just indefinite. So I start them and stop them every Thursday morning. I do all 5,600 listings at 2%, but I've been doing 3% for fourth quarter.
Okay. And so I definitely agree with Star on the sales. I do sales in spurts. I do not do sales for long term. My sales run usually 3 days. I have extended lately to 5 only for work-life balance issues. But most of the time they're 3-day sales. I have never thought of promoted listings in the same way. So now I will start to think about that, Star. So thank you for that. I usually, this is probably going to kill people to hear me say this, but I sometimes promote it trending. I sometimes have a dynamic and I do set a top. I know. And I feel in my circumstance, and I think it all depends on how you sell and how your business is set up, is how you use these things. And I have very low margins. I have extremely low cost of goods. I have very average items. I try to have very good photos and very good listings, but I have very average items. So for me, I always felt like promotion was a way for me to combat my averageness, if that makes sense. So that's how I've used it. Crystal.
So I would say, hearing what both of you have had to add about this, is that my strategy is in between yours. I'm definitely not running at a suggested promoted percentage, but I'm promoting higher than what Star does. And I promote, though, common to like what she's doing is my whole store. Everything has a blanket promotion put on it at that percentage. And I will say most everything that sells on promoted listings is right up at that ceiling that I have set. So they will charge pretty much the top of what I've said is allowable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's just talk about how it works now. I just want to point this out. Patty in the Patty Kaufman in the chat said it actually starts December 13th because it's going back 30 days. We are absolutely going to get to that. She is absolutely right. That is one of the things that has annoyed me immensely about this, the way they presented this to the public. I totally agree with Patty, and we are going to get there. So I just want to go through how it works right now. So if anyone has any questions, that how it works now, so you can understand the difference. So right now, if I am selling these mini Mickey Mouse ears and I have them on promoted listings, and Star comes in and looks at them on promoted listings but doesn't buy them, I'm not charged anything. Nothing happens. Within the next 30 days, if Star comes back in and buys those through that same link, that direct link, she is charged. Okay? And these are, so the ad fee is charged when a buyer purchases an item from a general ad that they clicked on in the last 30 days. The next part of that is the halo effect, which I know the halo effect is what's really going to get us next time, but it's still happening right now. If Star came back into my store, right, didn't click on the direct link for these, but said, you know what, I think I liked those ears that Trish had. I'm going to go find them, and searches for them genetically. And so doesn't come through a promoted listing, doesn't come through a promoted click, but goes in and found them and has already looked at them on a promoted listing. We're going to be then charged the extra fee for the promotion. Okay. So that's the small 30-day halo attribution. And it only works when one person's already clicked it and come back in. Okay.
That same person.
That same person. Exactly. That's the crux of the argument right there. The same person has come in and bought it, even if they don't go through a promoted listing again. If they hit the promoted once and they come back and they buy it, we're being charged.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want everybody to understand that's how it works. That's how it has worked basically for the last 3 years. They did change it about 3 years ago. There was no halo effect before then.
I don't remember a similar level of outrage at that time.
I don't think there was, because I do think on the surface it seems fair. If, I mean, let's be honest. If I see these because of a promotion or because of a commercial, and I decide I really want them, does it matter if I found them again through the commercial or not? Because I initially found them through the commercial. So
I, as a seller, directly benefited from that ad that I placed.
Right. I think it's fair. And Amazon Affiliates works on a similar model. If Trish clicks my Amazon affiliate link and goes back within the next 48 hours and buys dog food, I get a percentage of what you purchased because I helped bring you to Amazon.
Right.
So I think that is fair. But what's not fair is what's going to start happening, which we'll get into.
Agreed. So everybody understands this is how it works. This is how it's worked for the last 3 or 4 years. And I don't think any of us on a business level, right? The three of us. Now, I just would like to say, I think Star, Crystal, and I try to look at these things from a business point of view, not from a feeling of, well, I don't like this kind of way. Because who the hell wants to pay more money? Nobody. But I think that nobody. But the three of us try to come from it from a business point of view. And we, all three of us, believe this is fair. And I hope you guys do also. Because if you don't think this is fair, you're really not going to think the rest of it's fair. So does anyone have any questions in the chat? Can we help anybody? Do you guys understand what this means? And if you don't, can we help anybody with that?
Look at what Kelly said in the chat about them discouraging the delist relist habit.
It's interesting. Someone brought up at eBay Open that they were discouraging the delist relist habit. So when that happens, does that disrupt the 30-day timer?
Maybe.
It might. I have no idea, really.
It would have a different ID on the listing.
Yeah,
so
you would think it would.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been saying for 5 years is even more correct now. Y'all should be delisted and relisted.
Sarah just loves when she's right. Okay.
And it's quite a bit of the time, turns out.
It's true. Okay, so we're all kind of on the same page. We all understand what's happening. So now we're gonna go.
I think someone wanted you to explain it one more time. Susan Arrington.
So, so really what happens is I put these for sale and I have a percentage on them. If you come in from a direct link, you see a sponsored link and you hit it and you buy it, I pay the percentage, right? Just like an ad. But if I click on this and then I don't buy it, but I come back later into eBay and I find them again, or I go directly to Star's store and I buy them, and I don't do it through a sponsored link, if I have clicked on that sponsored link in the last 30 days, I'm still going to pay the price because I had already came to it originally through that promoted thing. Okay. Yeah. So that is a direct attribute and a halo attribute. So the direct attribute is clicking it, buying it. A halo attribute is like the halo effect, right? I did it in here, but it kind of rings outside. Okay, great. She understands. Great. I'm glad that I could explain that well enough. Okay. So here's the kick in the butt, in my opinion. And I think in the ladies.
I don't think you're alone in that.
Okay. So starting January 13th, for items listed on eBay, and then they list other, it's because it's all of Europe, it's Australia, there's a whole lot of them, okay? But forget that. Just worry about us. Worry about ebay.com. eBay will report an attributed sale from a general campaign when a buyer purchases the same item that was featured in the ad that was clicked on by any buyer in the last 30 days. Any buyer. So Star puts these up for sale. I go in and look at them and I think, oh, those are the wrong ones.
But then I come in from across the country and buy those just because I saw them on eBay.
And now I pay the fee.
And now Star gets charged the promoted listing fee because Trish clicked on them across the country from me, who is totally unrelated to that whole situation. That's what's frustrating.
So the halo effect went from direct halo, meaning the halo followed the person, right? The halo followed me. I clicked an item, and then if I came back and it was still in the time of the halo, because the halo's following the person, I come back and click it, I pay the fee. Well, the seller pays the fee, but you know what I'm saying? The fee is attributed to that item. Now the problem is the halo is following the item. So you put an item up for sale and anyone clicks on it with a promoted listing, the halo follows the item. So then anybody comes in to buy that item, you are charged the fee. It's infuriating on quite a different levels. It's totally infuriating. The thing that I find interesting is it's 30 days. So what happens? The ad fee is charged when a buyer purchases the promoted item from the general ad that any buyer clicked in the most 30 days, right? So any buyer, like we just said, the item must be promoted at the time of the click and the first time of the sale and at the time of the sale. The ad fee is based on the ad rate in effect at the time of the sale. So here's the other thing I don't get. So does this mean I put this on sale? If people start doing what Star does and don't run them for very long, this seems to me that this is going to cause some issues with which ad rate you're getting charged by who and when the 30 days. And do you know what I'm trying to say, Star? Like this part, these two last sentences seem to me to muddy the water even more.
So the question is, if Star pauses the campaign and restarts it, does it still attribute to that item? You know, does it follow the item? Or does she have to start a completely new campaign to have it fall off? That
right.
I don't know.
And my campaigns and restart them every week. So I'm trying to decipher if I think, because it says it has to be promoted at the time of the click and the time of the sale. So if Trish clicks it Wednesday and I end that campaign Thursday morning and start a new one and Crystal buys it, is it still under that Halo?
Right. That's what I don't know.
That's
Those
probably no.
Yeah, because they're a little,
So it turns out Star's always right. Y'all should be doing what I'm doing.
Teresa said a few years ago to me, something happened and we were somewhere and we were reading an eBay thing. And I said to her, this is so vague. And she says to me, all corporations write their rules vaguely so that they can fix it to the situation that they need. And when I read these, I could hear Teresa in my head. And I just said Teresa, I heard it. I could hear her talking about this because it isn't crystal clear.
No. The thing that, and now like what eBay tells us, we don't really trust too, when they do things like this, but what they say about promoted listings campaigns is that there's a learning period of about 30 days that they take to really gain footing. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but historically they've told us don't start and stop ad campaigns in a shorter period than 30 days. Now, anecdotally, it's working for Star. So, we don't know.
Is it the total amount of my sales that is promoted is only 30%?
So there might be something to it, although it might be attributed to you promoting at 2% too. If you promoted at 5 or 6, would your percentage of promoted listing sales go up? Where mine, I promoted a higher rate, and mine from the last year, 56.7% of my sales are from promoted listings.
Okay,
I'm
so you brought something up earlier about, and this is Kala, and Kala said, does it bring us up higher in search? Would that possibly justify the Halo? And so this brings up a big thing. Please go ahead there, Miss Crystal.
Okay, so I want to give credit where credit's due. Chris Dunnard, who is a member of List Perfectly, a friend of mine, forwarded me a link and said you might want to watch this and see what you think about it. And it is from a YouTube channel called Grams and Pups. And they were talking about how everybody's mad about the wrong thing that eBay recently announced. And their take on it is that eBay is going to push most everyone, if they can, to the priority ad campaign, which is pay-per-click, where you set a budget. If somebody clicks on it, you pay whether they buy it or not. And in the email that we got, I'm going to read the verbiage to you. It says, we first introduced the priority campaign strategy to help sellers reach more buyers and sell their items faster by providing priority access to high visibility ad placements. So now they are going to, the priority strategy provides exclusive access to the first ad slot position in search results. So that's a big deal because general ad campaign strategies on eBay, which is internal to eBay for paying a percentage to promote our ads, in the past, we've had access to the top spots. Now, general campaign strategies do not have access to those spots. Those are exclusively reserved for the priority listing campaigns that are pay-per-click.
Chris put the verbiage in just so if anybody wants to reread it. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Starting probably, I don't know if it'll be December 13th or January 13th. Somewhere in that month, our general ad campaigns may not pack the same punch they used to, even if you change nothing, because only the priority ad campaigns items will be appearing in those first rows. And if you know much about how conversion works, the first ad spot has a 3 times higher conversion rate than the second ad spot. And that one has a 2 to 3 times higher conversion rate than the third ad spot. So if now our general campaign listings are being kicked to the second, third, fourth, fifth row because all the priority ones are in front of it, even if you change nothing about your general ad strategy, we may not see the same conversion that we used to into sales.
And then
that's crazy.
The next problem is all of us switch to the promoted. Who's getting first slot? We're all paying for it.
Well, then it goes back to, it should anyways, go back to who has the best organic listing, right? I mean, it always was, and hopefully it still is, that you can't promote yourself out of a bad listing, right? Because if I have a crappy listing and I have the same promotion as Crystal, who has a good listing, her listing should rank higher than mine because my listing, the start where I started from, isn't as good as Crystal, right? Mm-hmm. So it should be, and only time will tell, but it should be that you cannot rank yourself out of a bad listing. Because if you can buy your way out of a bad listing, the whole thing isn't worth doing, because it then changes the entire game.
The caveat is, and you said the same promotion, but like, say you're promoting at 12% on the same item that I'm charging, or that I'm paying 6%, and we have the same quality of listing, yours would rank higher than mine. Mm-hmm. Now, if I had a better listing, but you were promoting at a higher rate, they might appear side by side, or vice versa. So there's a couple things that do play into it, but I think they're going to start heavily weighting on how high you're promoting. And whether you're promoting we know they're going to start weighting heavily on whether you're promoting in a priority strategy. Now, for one-off sellers, though, a priority strategy is not smart, in my opinion. It doesn't pay. I've tried it. And I've talked to a lot of other people who have too. Now, if you sell multi-quantity things, if you have like a following, people that click on that item frequently, it's probably more of a good strategy for you. But I just don't know for everything sellers and people with unspecial items to sell. Chris made a good comment in the chat about how our ad spend will go up and sales will go down. So it'll be a net negative for most people. But if you stop promoting, your sales will suffer even more, is what she said. And I thought that was a smart.
So let's talk about what we know so far. So, and anyone who knows me or comes to Mastermind or has listened to me for the last 3 or 4 years is not going to be surprised by what I'm going to say right now. Do not under any circumstances shut all of your promoted listings off tomorrow or today. Do not do it. I think it is a very bad idea. I think it will have very serious consequences. If you do not want to use promoted listings, I get it. I may not use them. But what you got to do is you got to react slowly. eBay does not respond well to anything fast. You've got to do it slowly. Okay, go ahead. Star, say what you said.
Say what I said in the chat.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with what Crystal said and people are saying in the chat. If you have really unique one-off items that are specifically things folks are looking for, you probably don't ever have to promote because you're not competing with people. But Trish and I both each have 5,000 pairs of Walmart jeans. We need to compete. We need to get in there. So if you have a high volume business and you're selling bread and butter items, I think if you don't promote, you are giving your business a death sentence.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
I agree with that. But I want anybody I just want anybody who's going to do anything to do it slowly and methodically. Little bit at a time. Okay. If anybody I changed all 10,000s of my listings to free shipping to paid shipping, and I had gone 3.5 years without never having a day worth no sale. I never had a no sale day, and I immediately had a huge issue, and I didn't change anything. I listed the same amount. Nothing changed other than I was a complete dope and did all of one thing in one day. And eBay was like, what in God's name are you doing, lady? And all went to hell in a handbasket. Mm-hmm. It took me a long time. I'm talking about a year to get over it. Okay. So please, whatever you do it slowly, do it methodically. And I absolutely agree with Star. This is going to be dependent on what kind of business you have. If you have very high sell-through rate items, if you have very interesting, high price, things that don't come up for sale very often, things that are unusual, you may not need to do any of this. But if you're somebody who's used to competing, as the three of us are, the competition's not going away. We have to just figure out a new way to compete.
Yeah, my boxing gloves are not coming off.
No, and you just have to, like, I know a lot of people are really feeling this intensely, but most of us in here are serious about our businesses too. And I said this on your Facebook post you made, Trish, in a couple different places about shutting them off. I totally understand if you want to do that as a form of protest or just out of principle,
right,
or what have you, but please do not cut off your nose to spite your face. Like, do not do it just like as a knee-jerk reaction. You have to think it through. What is smartest for your business? And if you're going to turn them off, take it easy. Like, do it slow, and by January 13th or December 13th, have it at the place you want to have it, but don't make any sudden moves.
I'm going to add a little bit of tough love in here for people.
Please go ahead.
I love you.
Friend.
Your emotions have no place in your business. And I know that we're human. We're all human at the end of the day. And it's very hard sometimes to separate emotions from money. Money is very emotional. Paying your bills is very emotional. But in order to run a business successfully and think logically at all times with your brain and not your heart and your emotions, you really have to work at separating. You can feel what you feel outside of business hours, but when you make decisions for your business, you need to be a CEO, boss, almost said boss bitch, a boss of your business, and you need to not have emotions. The emotions have a place and a time, but it's never when you are in work hours or making decisions for your business. I know that's tough for a lot of people, but you can't run a business on emotions and be successful. You just can't.
Spruced and Gussied said, gotta stay away, gotta stay level-headed. Exactly, right? That's exactly right. And and I also want to say another thing. Tell eBay how you feel. Absolutely. Write an email. Go to the community board, eBay, community.ebay.com, I believe is it. Go there, give them a piece of your mind. Don't act crazy because you don't want them to disregard what you were saying, but give them a piece of your mind and tell them why you think it's unfair. Tell them whatever you think you need to tell them. Be professional, but absolutely tell them. And at the bottom of every eBay page, there is a place where you can give feedback. If you feel that strong about it, give feedback on those things also. When they write us an email about it, feedback. When they sent us a message, feedback. Listen, they have reversed things in the past. I do not think this will be reversed. I just would like to say that. We were in a mastermind, I believe it was mastermind in the morning, and Charlene was in there, and I love her, and she very calm almost all the time. But man, when she's not calm, it was like she was going to storm eBay and what is wrong with us? And when were we born? And why aren't we, more? She wasn't doing this. And it was great. And I agree with her. But make sure your business is taken care of. Make sure you do this slowly. Make sure you're making the right decision based on your business and not just the emotions of how we all feel like we're kind of getting screwed over.
I think the reason so many people are upset about this, one of the reasons, and I know one of the reasons it doesn't feel good to me, is that those of us who sell on multiple platforms, especially places like Amazon or whatever, they've had this model for a long time over there. I think it's sort of naive to think eBay wouldn't follow suit, but what we have felt as sellers for so long is that eBay was more of a platform for sellers, that they were our partners in our businesses, that they were maybe morally a little bit better than a lot of other companies. And this feels like the opposite of that. And I think that's what gets people the most. And in the non-transparent way that it was presented, it could have been done winter seller check-in.
That was very,
and it was not well done in that way. It felt like a slap to a lot of people. So I get it.
And I feel like it's greedy. I feel like it's a big fat money grab. eBay, are you listening to me? It's a big fat money grab. I'll pull my emotions back in. I just wanted to say that.
She got emotional. Now it's over. This is Clara. She's in the chat. And she wrote, your heart is for your family and friends and brains for the business. Don't mix. That's her rule. And it's true. Sometimes you really do have to keep it, separated. But, I think why number 3, well, let's ask you, what did Q4 implications do you think there are? Are you guys going to do anything before the December 13th deadline, or are you going to wait after the end of Q4 to do anything?
I'm probably going to go in after this and turn off my campaign and turn on the priority one and just see what happens.
To see what happens.
I have margins to do that.
Yep.
I have very low cost of goods. And now is the time for me to do that, because even if I pay per click, my sales are double this time of year. So my volume is double. So
yeah.
I might just see what happens today.
Well, and that's the thing, depending on what kind of volume you have and what kind of margins you have more to play with, and you can, even if you pay more than you want to in advertising for a little while, you can absorb it, whereas some people can't absorb it. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you have the room to play with it is actually great. Crystal, what are your plans? Have you changed anything yet?
I am definitely a wait and see type of person.
Okay.
I'm not making any moves at this point. I'm open to maybe lowering the amount that I promote at. I don't see myself ever stopping promoting. I see a lot of people out there commenting on YouTube videos, social posts, like, I've never promoted and I make XYZ number of sales a year. And I think, yeah. And how many sales would you be making if you promoted? Probably a lot more.
What are you selling? What are you selling?
Are you selling iPhones? Because I'm not.
Exactly.
So I do see the value in ad campaigns. I've benefited from them immensely through the years. So I don't see myself not doing them, but it may be at a lower rate than before, just because of the margins, but I'm not going to do it right now. It's going to be after the first of the year, and it may be after the first quarter of next year to see how it's really impacting my business.
That would probably be the smartest, because then you would have a full quarter. You would have had one full quarter to look at in comparatively to a full quarter of the year before. And because of the way your business is built, you could absorb that extra money to have that real data. Now, some people can't. They're either new or they just don't have the margins. And if you can't, I understand. But if you can, I think it'd probably be worth it, because then at least you're comparing apples to apples, right? And you really understand what's going on. So the 2 things, and then we're going to move on. I really think it's stinky that they didn't mention this at the winter seller check-in. I think it was cowardly. I got to be honest. I think it was cowardly. And then we're kind of out here all flailing around, listening to each other. And listen, we have the best community in the world. We are the reselling community, by and large, other than a few outliers, is great. And we share information. We do not put things up behind barriers. We try to be helpful. And that goes for almost the entire community. There are very few outliers in that, in my opinion. But we can only know what we know. We really could use a couple of people from eBay out here on these shows, talking on YouTube, telling us what is really, because we're only going by what they give us. And so,
There's a reason they're not doing that. There's not a lot of ground to stand on, and it would be like getting lambasted for an hour.
Probably.
But I did see a couple of the eBay seller circles are having eBay employees come in to virtual meetups and answer questions. I know there's one in Colorado Springs. Yes. Coming up, there's a couple of other ones that they're sending people into.
You can go. Yes.
So I've signed up for one. I would encourage everybody who has anything to say about this to go to those.
Absolutely.
That's neat. I'm not having my virtuals for the rest of the year because of holidays, but I feel like it was a text message breakup.
Yeah,
exactly. To our face, and they had 2 chances at eBay Open and winter seller check-in, and they were like, "I'll just wait till I can text you."
Exactly, it's very true. Sorry. Like the Burger, do you guys remember on Sex and the City when Burger broke up with her on a Post-it note? And she got broken up on a Post-it note. It kind of does feel like that.
Yeah.
Like you just drop this bomb and walk away, and we're here figuring out what the hell does this mean? Okay, so I just want to go a little bit over the priority campaign strategy. So this is what we're talking about. So now, unless you're doing a priority strategy, which is the pay per click, okay? Unless you're doing one of these strategies, you're not going to get the top spot. Now, that could matter. I think it's going to matter, but it may not matter. But pay-per-click is very difficult for an everything seller, in my opinion, because you're going to get clicked a lot. And so, you know, this is a little bit difficult for me to wrap my head around. I think we'll have a better understanding when it goes a little further. But right now, we don't really know. And, you know, and the next thing is promoted offsite ads. Again, these are basically pay-per-click ads, but offsite. But every time one gets clicked, you pay. And unless you are a very specialty seller and you have a very specialty store, and I believe with replenishables to make it really worth it, I don't know how you can have offsite ads that bring people to your store. Because in my opinion, the three of us would not have enough constant of the same things to have people come in and relook and look to see if we had what they needed. Now, if I sold toy trains and I specialized in Lionel, that's the only train thing I could think of was Lionel trains. If I sold Lionel trains, maybe there's a big enough following for Lionel trains or enough ravenous fans who love Lionel trains that I could do offsite ads and it would be worth it. I'm not sure for generalized resellers if offsite ads work. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I have an offsite ad campaign that is over a year old. It has a good return on it. My ROAS is decent. It doesn't come even close to holding a candle to what my general campaign ROAS is. That one always outperforms offsite by about 3 times, but it still returns a good amount. So how long have you been doing it? Over a year? Yeah. Now that's different. So offsite ads is different than priority. Just so everybody is clear on that. It's when people are Google searching for things and then they can click through Google into your item.
So I don't do the offsite ads for all the reasons you said. I don't have special. I buy Walmart jeans for $1 and I sell them for $25 plus size. But I do take advantage of the eBay social button and I push 3 things out to Pinterest each morning because those are evergreen posts, number 1. Number 2, Pinterest has a very special relationship with Google and gets a lot of the priority placement. So if somebody searches birthday Build-A-Bear, they may see my Pinterest pin. And then you have your pin lead back to your store, and that's evergreen. Somebody 5 years from now could click into my store. So that's a way to do off the site for free if you can't justify paying for it.
So it's an interesting thing. One thing that you brought up to me, I mean, that made me think of is that, you know, I do not spend a lot of time, if any time, on social media for my store. And we're actually, Desiree and I, I don't think she's here, but Desiree and I are going to actually do a listing party on Pinterest and incorporating it into your business and how to use the tools like through eBay, et cetera. And maybe that is a way that somebody could counterbalance some of the promotional things by doing more of those things.
Mm-hmm. I'm a huge proponent of social media. That stuff is out there forever.
Yeah. What did you say, Crystal?
And I said, and I am not.
Right. Well,
Just mostly because I'm too uncool and lazy. That's all.
You're not too uncool. You just don't have this, like I have a routine, the discipline.
Yes. Well, I don't have the desire to do it either. I really don't. But there's value in it.
No, but I think we're talking about 2 different things. I'm not talking about me social media, like when she does her social media, like going into the thrift store when she does that dance. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about sending her,
that one.
Sending her listings to Pinterest.
Yeah.
Right?
And I could do that easily.
Yeah. Chris, how do you make the pins evergreen?
I was typing.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Say it.
So I either have it go to a store category or just my store in general. And I just kind of vacillate between the two. There's no rhyme or reason. It's if I list a Build-A-Bear, I have it go to my plush category. If I list a random item, I may just have it go to the front of my store. I did get myself suspended off of Pinterest this morning, so please don't go try to look at my Pinterest. I'm in the middle of disputing it. They said I was spamming. I do 3 links every morning from eBay to Pinterest, and I have for 2.5 years. And somehow this morning I was spamming.
They said this woman is so disciplined. We don't want her on here.
We don't want her on here. We don't need these.
I'm disputing it, but I wish I could tell you my Pinterest because I've been using it for my business for a long time, and I really believe it works.
All right. Well, when Desiree and I do this, maybe you can come and help because it would be interesting to see somebody. Desiree does it. I don't. So I'm really interested to know about it. But so the Taste Lady wrote, a lot of people in my Pinterest pinning group have been suspended today. Maybe there was a glitch.
Okay. So I'm not going to take it personal then.
Yeah, I want to take it personally right now. So, how do you guys plan to use promotions in the future? You guys already kind of said that you're going to wait and see, both of you basically, right?
I'm going to wait and see and maybe fiddle fart around a little.
So what's next for reselling in eBay? I think that this could change a few things. I don't know how you guys feel. I kind of think that they're putting themselves, I think eBay is moving away from the hobby seller. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think they're moving away from the hobby seller and they're really moving towards a professional seller and actually really gearing everything towards a very large seller.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
But they because they offer the most businessy platform. I mean, they're the most friendly to business people usually on there with the way you can run your business in a succinct, effective way where some other platforms are more muddied in that regard. And so I suppose if we step back and look, we've been able to see it for about a 10-year runway, but it's becoming really apparent now.
I've been saying for a lot of years that I feel like eBay is Amazon Junior and trying really hard to be like Daddy.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you guys see this? I think that's my husband because I don't know who else would be in my account.
That's your other personality.
I think, and I didn't write that we rock, so I'm assuming it's my husband. He left for work.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. I just looked up and I was like, "Who the heck is who's being me?" But I really kind of agree with you. I think that I think it's changing a little, and I think if you want to be more business focused, it could end up being good for you. But if you are somebody who doesn't and who is a hobby seller, maybe you need to buckle down with Poshmark and Depop. And, we had Liz Perfectly had a very large webinar yesterday with Depop. We got a lot of people and it was great. It's going to be up on YouTube, but probably Monday or Tuesday at the latest. And if you are a Liz Perfectly member, Tuesday, they're coming back and they're going to do a deep dive into into Depop and how to make more money as a seller, as a serious seller on Depop. So anybody who's a LP person, I hope that you'll come in. It's on listingparty.com. If you belong to List Perfectly, you belong to it. It's our educational arm. We do lots of things in there all the time. Star talks about serial killers. I talk about God knows what. And
I do one once a month that's not about serial killers.
I know.
Very,
very business minded.
Yeah, we have a business one.
Yeah, they do a business one once a month. And there's a jewelry show. There's things we have a mastermind twice a day. We do there's a 411 call. So if you have any issues with List Perfectly specifically, but if you ever feel like you need help or whatever, even with any of the other platforms, if you belong to List Perfectly, come in. We want to help you. We as a company realize that we're only successful when you're successful. And so we want you to get to the next lovers. We want you to get to the next level. We want you to be as successful as you want to be. And I think that's different for everybody, right? Some people never want to have employees. Some of us would like, a warehouse and a whole lot of employees, and it changes what you want, the time of your life, et cetera, et cetera. So come in. Love to see you. Right now, we're going to leave. We're going to go to the after show. We do an after show every Friday on these, just to go in and see what anyone else has to say.
It's going to be a spicy one. People are going to come.
Before we go, can I put in the links to my new 10th in Maine?
Yes, of course. Oh, so that's a good thing to talk about. So Star and another 4 or 5 ladies, all of which seem to be in list perfectly. Most of them come to my mastermind group. Valerie, Kelly, and they come in, Nanette, they come in and they do a live selling show on YouTube on Friday nights.
Every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on 10th and Main.
And I've gone a couple times and I buy too much stuff, so I shouldn't be allowed to go. But we hope that we will see you afterwards. And thanks everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. And see you next week. If you need anything, reach out. Bye, guys. Thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
It takes forever to.
I know it takes forever to stop.
We're still live.